This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CWK Live every Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Excuse me, just fixing my hood here. Thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. I am your host, Dan Z. Fixing my hood, and I know that makes for a great, entertaining Facebook Living, doesn't it? Well, we've got a fun show for you today. Of course, we're going to look at a couple of things. First, we're going to talk about your top 5 significant lightsaber moments. I'm going to announce a major direction for the show for the foreseeable future on CWK Live, Star Wars Trivia and Prizes, and we got some celebration news as well, which is great. All right, let's say hello to everybody. Ross says, 1 week closer to Celebration Anaheim. You know what, Ross, that is the news of the day. We're going to talk about that here in just a few moments. I'm thrilled about that as well. Anthony says, hi, everyone. Happy CWK Day. Happy CWK Day to you, Anthony. Mary says, happy Celebration News Monday. That's right. Daniel says, we're back. We are back in business, ready to do some Star Wars chatting. Terry, hey, happy day to you, buddy. Hello, good to have you. Blake says, hey, everyone. Q Celebration by Cool and the Gang. Yes, but be careful. Don't play too much of it because that's a YouTube no-no. But yeah, I know. Believe me, I can't wait. Jason says, hi, everyone. Great to be with you all tonight as usual. And Minta, this is the way. It's CWK Day. Yes. Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and talk about the things that are going on with Star Wars Celebration as we take a look at what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
Yes, so what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week? We've got Celebration news. We have been waiting for a long time. Hello, Greg. Good evening to you, my friend Greg, the Rebel Base Card here joining us. We've been waiting for a really long time to find out about Celebration news because we're just barely 2 months away from this epic Star Wars Celebration. And we've been wondering, what's going on. We've been waiting for news of some sort. So we got a lot of news. I think the big news that we should address, and a lot of people have asked me about this today, is there is a policy has been announced because, of course, COVID put everything on in a different lane of speed, so to speak. They said that, you know what? First of all, tickets are going to go on sale again, I believe. Is it the 16th? I think that is right. The 16th. Let me check. I know it's next. Is it 16th or 15th? Let me check. Anybody have that at the top of their heads? I know I posted it today on CWK's Instagram. Let's take a look and see. Let's see. First look at the merchandise. It's the 15th. Okay. So I was right. I was right about the day of the week. I was just wrong about the calendar. So it's a week from tomorrow, the 15th. Yeah, there's going to be a limited amount of tickets still available. So if you are wanting to go, I would suggest you treat this like it's a Hasbro pre-sale or Cabbage Patch Kids back in the day or Phantom Menace tickets just go on sale $19.99. Just jump on and order them as quickly as you can because when they're gone, they're gone. So be very aware of that. Okay, but the big thing besides the announcement, buy early and often, as Greg said. The merchandise pre-sale is on the 11th, but you can only get the merchandise if you've already got a ticket. I believe that is correct. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong, but Liberty is here. Hello. Josh is here. Josh, glad to see you are healthy and feeling better, my friend. Good to have you. Back in the before times, the tickets went fast. Yeah, they went super fast. So for Celebration to sell it as quickly as it did before was pretty scary. So, again, 15th is when you want to jump on it. Yep. So you can only get the merchandise on the 11th if you've already got your tickets. And we're going to get to the merchandise. But I also want to address the big question or the big thing that people are noticing. So you have to provide proof of vaccination in order to be able to attend Star Wars Celebration. They announced that today. Josh, we're glad to have you home and safe, buddy. Josh, very good to see you, man. So you can't provide proof of a negative test. You have to provide proof of vaccination status. So whether that's digital or the paper one, I'm going to take my paper one. I'm going to put it in my lanyard, just because I have to have the lanyard on with me all the time anyway. So that'll just be an easy way to show it, I think. The 4 days for $195 is a better deal, even if you're not going to go all 4 days. Yeah, it's $75 a day for adults, but it's $195 for the entire thing. Daniel, we would love to have you attend sometime as well, man. Start saving your pennies. That would be great because we'd love to meet you face to face for sure. So anyway, that's the big thing, and I want to say, look, I understand, and I sympathize with people that are struggling for various reasons about not being sure about going because of the whole vaccination thing. I respect that. I just want you to know that I hope that whatever you decide, I hope it works out best for you and your family. That's what I'm going to say about that. I'm going to be there for sure. I'm definitely going to be there. That's what I can vouch for. Everybody else, do your best, make the best decision for you and your family. Hopefully we can see you there. If not, we totally understand. Matthew, what's up, Matthew? Says, hi, CWK group. Matthew Graken, good to have you back on the show. Matthew of the Disney Marvels podcast. All right, so we got the news. You can get your tickets on the 15th, but they announced, besides all this other news, we're going to get to see the art, the celebration art. Every year they have, or celebration, they have like a main art image. It's kind of like it's not kind of, it is the image of celebration. You see it everywhere on the merchandise. You see it on banners and posters and things like that. Gorgeous stuff. So here is the one for Celebration Anaheim 2022. Now, start shouting out what you see on here, everybody. What do you see? Josh said San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition had checking vaccination status down to a science. They have a similar rule for WonderCon on April 1st to 3rd, which is at the convention center. Have faith this will go smooth. I do. I am optimistic it will go very smooth. Amber sees Ahsoka. I see Ahsoka as well. And Amber also points out Mando. Good. What else are we seeing here? Gosh, a lot of cool stuff. We see Vader. Amber keeps raising her hand. I'm going to keep calling her. Everybody else have anything? Daniel says, what a neat print. Yeah, I know. It's so nice. We've got Luke. We've got R2-D2. We've got Grogu there as well. Yep, Ahsoka and Grogu. I see the Razor Crest. Minta says, I see Utter Joy. I see that as well. Amber is on fire tonight. She says, I see BB-8. Yep, Mary sees the Razor Crest too. Star Destroyers. A lot of epic lightsabers. Let's see, what else is there? Hooded Jedi, yes. Grogu, Mando, AT-ST, Death Stars 1 and 2. Oh, that's true. Interesting. I didn't see the other one over there. Cool. And that Vader is lording over it all. Now, I know we're going to be tempted to say, oh, this must be a sign of what's going to be there. What are they going to do? If you look at the past Celebration art pieces throughout the years of the history of Star Wars Celebration, dating all the way back to the first one in Denver, Colorado, they've never been an indicator of anything. They're just really cool art that showcases Star Wars. So that's my opinion. I could be very wrong, and I'm open to being wrong, certainly, but that's it, and I think it's gorgeous. If you like it, be sure to, you can see it on the Star Wars Celebration social media. We put it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter for Coffee with Kenobi as well. And there's Maul, too, right there. And it looks like around him is like a big hooded figure. My guess is that's the Emperor. Or maybe it's just the spectacle of a Jedi itself. Hard to say. All right, so you mentioned the merchandise. Here's some key pieces they highlighted. Again, on the 11th is when you can pre-order them. If you have a ticket, you can see the lanyard and the tote bag of the logo. Then you got the classic Star Wars Celebration shirt and hat. They are always the same. They just change the city where it's in and the year itself. But to me, the highlight is that 20 years Episode 2 Attack of the Clones logo. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous image with the clone trooper itself. The classic one from Episode 2. And it's hard to believe it's been 20 years. Really, really strange. But to me, that's breathtaking. Liberty says, looks like Palpatine. I agree. Oh, Josh says it could be Kenobi. That's poignant. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's right. Dana says, ooh, that clone helmet design. I know, right? So there's that. And then is the hooded guy Kenobi? It could be. Could be. They also have this hat. It has the same logo. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that hat. I love cool Star Wars hats and cool Star Wars coffee mugs. But that Star Wars 20 Years Episode 2 Attack of the Clones hat is very sharp. Again, the same logo. I highlighted that, but there's all the things that they have posted so far that are on sale. I got this right from the Star Wars Celebration Store website. Again, you can't order them yet, but they show you at least what's out there and the prices. Got the logo shirts for $32 for adults, men and women. The kids one is $25. You got an Attack of the Clones shirt for $32. Star Wars Celebration key art shirt, which is $32. The logo hat, a logo pin, a 3/4 sleeve Attack of the Clones shirt. I want that one for sure. Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary ringer. You got a logo patch, lanyard, tote bag, the flex ball cap, and the Road to Celebration Attack of the Clones t-shirt and pin set combo. So I guess that kind of shows us what they're going to emphasize as far as movies go, classic movies, because it's the 20-year anniversary of Attack of the Clones. Jason says, well, it's got to be Kenobi because the blue lightsaber extends from the arm. Good point. Good point. Hank Lonely, that would be that would be Len Testa you're referring to. Mary says, I have a tote bag of every celebration. We have attended Celebration 5 to Chicago except for Germany. Wow, that's cool. I like that. Anthony says, I'm thrilled that episode 2 is getting so much love. That's the one from the prequels I watched the most. Does it ever come to the East Coast? It's gone to Anaheim a couple times. It's been Orlando several times. It's been to Colorado. It's been to Chicago, and it's been in other countries as well. But no, it's never been on the East Coast, to my knowledge, that I can recall. So Mary agrees with Amber. It's got to be Kenobi. Yes, overseas. It's been in Japan, right? And I know it's been in London. I don't know. I wonder. This one was supposed to be in 2021. Obviously, it was canceled because of COVID and rescheduled. So you wonder when the next one's going to be. I'm just happy we're getting news about Celebration personally. So that's great. All right, I think that's it for the merchandise. So now let's talk about our top 5. Well, it's not that one. I forgot to put the new one in there. But tonight's top 5 is top 5 significant lightsaber moments. Yep. Japan, London, and Essex, Germany. That's right. That's where they were overseas. So top 5 significant lightsaber moments. I picked this category because I was looking at my lightsaber from the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. By the way, thank you everybody for your support of and for watching and sharing and viewing and spreading the word and retweeting all the coverage of the Galactic Star Cruiser. There's one more week of it on Coffee with Kenobi. 500 was my overall impressions on the ship with me, James Burns of Jedi News, and my wife, Tiana, and my son, Mason. 501 for Facebook Live. We did a live walkthrough tour, video tour. So if you haven't seen that, be sure to go to Facebook or YouTube or Instagram and watch me as I took you video-wise through the entire Galactic Star Cruiser and explained everything. Good practice for summer 2023, where I hope you will all join me on the Galactic Star Cruiser. More on that as we get closer to the date itself. And then this one last week, 502, we did our top 5 favorite food options from the Galactic Star Cruiser. Molly from allears.net and AJ from Disney Food Blog join me. And this week, you're going to get a whole bunch of interviews that I did, including Doug Chang, legendary Doug Chang, Matt Martin of Lucasfilm, Scott Trowbridge, a lot of people who worked on the ship and various aspects of it. I think you're really going to like it a lot. Anthony loves the topic. Can't wait to hear what everybody thinks. Me too. Liberty says, this is tough to choose, moments or fights. Ugh, I know. Mary says, we need James Burns to join us when CWK peeps go. You know what? That would be great. Matthew said, another excellent episode. Well, thank you, Matthew. So my thought process when I made these was significant moments. So to me, for me, and this is just for me, there's no right way. This is just saying how I filled it out. I did not pick lightsaber fights per se. I'm just talking about when the lightsaber was an important part of the story and storytelling. So let's just get to it. So my number 5. I put the Phantom Menace trailer. Look, if you're of a certain age, then you know what I'm talking about. When we saw the Phantom Menace trailer, it was 1999. Or maybe it came out in 1999. No, I think it was 99. We hadn't seen a Star Wars movie in theater since 1983. So 16-year difference, right? I think my math is right there. 16 years of not seeing anything Star Wars on the big screen that wasn't the special editions. And this red, multi-horned, menacing-looking creature holds up his hand, and 2 lightsaber blades are emitted from his saber. A double-bladed lightsaber from a devil-looking creature that we knew had to be a Sith, the replacement to Darth Vader. You know, the speculation went rampant and wild. And this is really before the internet had taken off, honestly. That was a big deal. Seeing that, a double-bladed lightsaber, knowing that was a possibility, was a very, very big deal. So that is my number 5. And I still think that initial trailer is the greatest trailer of all time. It was great. But seeing Darth Maul's lightsaber, we didn't even know his name. We didn't know his name was Darth. We didn't know his name was Maul. We didn't know anything. We just saw this really cool guy with double-bladed lightsaber. So that is my number 5. So let's see what everybody else has. Terry's number 5. Luke versus Vader in Empire. The new Force powers revealed along with the revelation of Luke's father. Epic. That's a great one, Terry. Meantime, seeing Yoda activate his lightsaber in Clone Wars. Remember seeing that for the first time 20 years ago. My jaw hit the floor. Right? Number 5 for Amber is Darth Tyrannus versus Yoda. Excellent. Josh says, that's a good one. I remember classmates in law school all around a laptop watching the trailer before class. Yeah, that was a big deal. Oh, look at Jason with the deep cut. Luminara Unduli and Barasafi performing the lightsaber construction ritual on Ilum. That's correct. Correct spelling, too. In the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. Nice. That's a good one. That's a good one, Jason. Mary's number 5. Luke versus Vader in Return of the Jedi, especially when Luke tosses his saber away. Excellent. Good piece of storytelling. Anthony, I remember seeing another movie just for the trailer. Oh, same here. Absolutely. Number 5 for Blake. Rey force pulling the lightsaber to herself at the end of The Force Awakens. I'll never forget that moment and being there with my brother opening night. Very special. Very cool. Terry, I bought a couple of movie tickets and walked out. The Phantom Menace trailer was over. Josh, number 5. Kanan Jarrus versus Grand Inquisitor. Oh, nice call. Daniel, number 5. Anakin versus Ventress in the original animated Clone Wars mini movie. I'm still taken by that saber ballet. And when the rain was hitting the lightsaber blade and you can hear like a hissing, that was cool. That was so cool. Let's see. Liberty. Rey finding Luke's saber at Maz's castle. How the whispering started gives me chills. Oh, that's a good one. I should have thought of that for my list. Rats. That's a good one. All right. So that's number 5. Great list so far, everybody. Let's see what you have for number 4. Number 4 for me is Kanan's big secret. When he says, kid, I'm about to let everybody in on the secret. And he puts the hilt and his lightsaber together. He clicks it, boom, it turns on, and he shows the Empire, hey, he is a Jedi. And because it takes place after the Purge and all that stuff, the significance and power of that narrative moment, I thought Kanan was interesting, but I really wasn't sure what I thought about him. As soon as he says, I'm about to let everybody in on the secret, and he turns on the lightsaber, I was totally enamored with that character. And he's still one of my favorite Star Wars characters, or fictional characters, period. Love him. But I guess it kind of showed me, I was really skeptical there would be a Jedi, since Luke was the only Jedi that was going to be around, and Obi-Wan and Yoda. Thought, how can you possibly put another Jedi in Star Wars, and how could it not mess with things and kind of interrupt the timeline? But it didn't. It actually added to it, and it made sense the way they designed it. So I love this part. That's why it is my number 4, because it gave us permission to accept, hey, there might be other Jedi out there. It was great. All right, let's see. Number 4 for Terry. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, and Phantom Menace debuted to set the tone for all lightsaber duels to follow. Well, that's well said, and that is absolutely correct. Meantime, Duel of Fates, number 4. Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting on Mustafar had shown us how far they had fallen apart in different paths they were taking. It's true. That's another thing. These are really good. You're all doing such a great job. Number 4 for Blake, Darth Maul igniting his lightsaber for the first time. That moment from the trailer took the world by storm. Yes, it did. Yeah, I still have that. Still have several versions of that Darth Maul action figure. One I even opened up, believe it or not. Ross is number 4. Luke lighting Yoda's light. Yoda. Let me try that again. Number 4 from Ross. Luke igniting Yoda's lightsaber in front of Grogu. That's a good one. That's pretty cool too. That was a good lightsaber moment. Amber's number 4. Maul versus Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. Love it. Matthew. Finn using the lightsaber to defend his friends against the First Order onslaught. Well said. Daniel. Kanan and the Grand Inquisitor. Yes. That's the second person to bring that up. That's cool. Jason's number 4. Obi-Wan versus Maul and Phantom Menace. So many cool moves, and I kept replaying that scene from the trailer in my head until the film was released. And we all have the Duel of Fates music in our heads now, don't we? Mary's number 4. Anakin and Vader versus Kenobi on Mustafar. We knew this was going to end badly for Anakin, but it's still heart-wrenching. Yes, it is. It really is. Number 4 for Liberty. When R2-D2 threw Luke's saber to him in Return of the Jedi. Oh, that's a good one too. Nice. Josh, Ahsoka versus Vader, very powerful for sure. And then 4 for Greg, seeing the yellow lightsaber of the Jedi Temple Guards for the first time in another color. Oh, nice. Boy, you're all bringing up such great ones that I hadn't even thought about. But yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 for me is Yoda Unleashed. I believe Minto brought it up earlier, but when I saw Attack of the Clones the first time on the first day, naturally, as so many of us did, I kept away, surprise, from all spoilers and all speculation. Didn't look online. Didn't read anything about it. Didn't talk to people about it. And when Yoda walked out and I realized he was going to use his lightsaber, I lost my mind. There have only been 2 times in my life where I stood up and clapped in a movie theater. One was when Hulk, at the end of Avengers, smashes Loki and says, "Puny God." And when Yoda unleashes his lightsaber against Count Dooku, and I just never thought I would see that moment. And it was such a big deal. Such a big deal. Beautifully animated and orchestrated. I'm sure you've all heard George Lucas talking about how crucial it was that they make that sequence work. And boy, did it work. Legendary. So that's my number 3. Okay. Minta. Number 3, the final fight with Kenobi versus Maul. Truly a heart-wrenching ending for one of the longest rivalries in history. Oh, good. Good point. I like how you explained that. Number 3 for Terry. Ahsoka and Maul in Mandalore, theatrical appearance, musical score, and intense emotion. That is for sure. Brian, sorry for being late when we found out the Inquisitor's lightsaber can fly. Oh, cool. No worries, man. Good to have you. Josh, there's a lot of cheering with Yoda versus Dooku. Yeah, it was surreal. It was surreal. Greg's number 3, the Emperor flicking out those lightsabers from his robe. So that was a cool moment, too. Ross's 3, Maul keeping his lightsaber humming as Qui-Gon meditated on the other side of the energy shield during the lull in their battle. Yes. That's cool. Kind of pacing back and forth, too. Like a Bengal tiger. Maul, let's see, Mary's number 3, Ahsoka versus Maul in Clone Wars Season 7. The motion capture they did for this animation made this duel so great. You know what? I had a feeling you're going to bring that up, Mary, and it's a really great moment, isn't it? Matthew's number 3, Ahsoka's battle in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Sorry, I forgot who she was fighting. Oh, that's okay. She was fighting, oh gosh, I can picture her. She had the Beskar spear. Oh gosh, I even wrote the entry in the Star Wars character encyclopedia too. Rats. Well, somebody will remember it and point it out. Let's see. Blake's number 3, Vader holding the old blue saber at the finale of Clone Wars. Ooh, that's a good one too. One of the most beautiful and haunting moments in all of Star Wars for me. That's a really great one, Blake. And yes, I have a Dooku saber on my wall. Yes, I got a Dooku Legacy lightsaber. They're great. Jason's the 3, Obi-Wan versus Maul on Tatooine. I love how Obi-Wan honored Qui-Gon by briefly taking his stance, and then he dominated Maul in about 4 moves. Yeah, Twin Sons is a great episode. Amber, Maul versus Ahsoka in Clone Wars Season 7. I am convinced Ahsoka should have joined Maul and defeated Palpatine. Ooh, that would have been interesting. Josh, number 3, Kenobi versus Maul in Rebels. Nice. And second one time that's brought up. Daniel's 3, when Ezra built his saber and ignited it in front of his friends on the Ghost. Very cool. Liberty's number 3, Kylo and Rey against the Elite Guard. Wow, so dramatic. Great filmmaking there. Very good. Magistrate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Morgan. Thank you, Jason. That's right. It is Bruce Lee's goddaughter, that's for sure. Morgan Elsbeth. Yes, of course. Rats. I was putting that name out of my mind because it just sounds so Arthurian. But yeah, I'm sure there's part of the inspiration for that as well. All right, so that's number 3. So we've got 2 left, maybe. Oh, no, here's one from Brian. Number 3, from one of the first preview trailers for Episode 7. Kylo Ren igniting his lightsaber for the first time, and we see his crossguard saber for the first time. 3 seconds worth of awesomeness. You know, Brian, I almost put that on mine, but because I did the Maul reveal for my number 5, I didn't pick it, but it's a great one. Definitely in my honorable mentions for sure. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 2 of our top 5 memorable lightsaber moments. Again, these are not necessarily duels, but just when they happen, it's a big deal story-wise. And to me, it's about as big as it gets. Rey's awakening. As soon as she calls Luke Skywalker's lightsaber to her and really uses the Force unabashedly, I don't know if unabashedly is the right word to describe it, but consciously, and also not consciously, but she's very aware of her Force connectivity in this moment because she needs to use it when it means the most. And then she has a great duel against Kylo Ren. I maintained, and I can't take credit for this because one of my students told me this, but it's not unlike Arthur being worthy of pulling Excalibur from the sword and the stone. Rey is worthy of Luke's blade and the legacy, but Kylo Ren is not, and that's why it goes to her. So that is my number 2. Let's see here. Terry's number 2. Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, Revenge of the Sith, cost an arm and a leg to make. Sorry, Anakin, but the battle drew out raw emotion. Obi-Wan never shown again. It's true. Number 2 for Blake, Luke getting to hold his father's lightsaber in Obi-Wan's hut in A New Hope. Excellent. Number 2 for me, to Return of the Darksaber. When that weapon appeared in Mando, I was blown away. It was even more surreal to Din that Din was able to wield the weapon to protect Grogu. Oh yeah, Darksaber. How could I forget that? Greg's number 2 was Vader finding Ahsoka's saber in the snow at the end of the Clone Wars finale. Excellent. Yeah, I believe Blake had mentioned that earlier. That's a good one. Matthew, General Grievous hunting the Jedi who invaded his temple. Oh yeah. Oh, Josh has going Luke on Hoth in the Wampa Cave. That was a significant part too. Ross in Empire. Luke using the Force to get his lightsaber out of the ice. Just like Josh mentioned, while hanging in the Wampa's lair. So exciting to see him use his powers there. That was a big moment. You can hear that music now in your heads too. Jason's number 2, Ahsoka versus Vader. So emotional and heartbreaking, and so impressive to see Ahsoka stand toe-to-toe with the Sith Lord. Yes. Very impressive. Most impressive. Sorry, I had to do it. Amber, Luke versus the Dark Troopers. One of the most epic things I've seen. It's so great to see Luke in his prime. That was great. Oh, I should have thought of that. Man, I keep saying that because you're all coming with such great ones. I love it. Daniel, Ahsoka versus Darth Maul on Mandalore. Certainly. Mary, Kenobi handing Luke's Anakin's lightsaber in episode 4. We weren't sure about this weapon for a more civilized time in 77, but now we know how important that saber is to the mythology. That is for sure. Number 2 for Liberty, Duel of the Fates. I love that scene because of Maul pacing like a big cat, such drama and a great fight scene. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So now it's time to get into our number 1. My number 1 of top most significant lightsaber moments to me is, it's been mentioned, your father's lightsaber. This is a weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age. That whole speech, that whole sequence, I think those couple minutes on that hut is about the most important sequence in the history of Star Wars. Star Wars' version of storytelling. And I love it. I mean, he hands that thing. Luke has his sacred talisman, and now he's ready to become a Jedi like his father. Oh, he hasn't quite accepted the call yet, but he will soon. So yeah, to me, that is the most significant moment in lightsaber history for me. All right, number 2 for Terry. Ahsoka and Vader in Rebels Season 2, Episode 22. Never has there been a better entrance than Vader at the 1356 mark as he stands on his TIE Advance with the saber drawn, right? That was an epic, epic moment, Terry. An epic moment. Mean to Ahsoka's white lightsaber. In the Ahsoka novel, there's a moment she activates an old Sith lightsaber. By using the Force, she is able to reverse the red color to its natural one, showing how far she had come. Good. Yeah, good use of symbolism there for sure, and nice analysis. Ross is the same as mine. A New Hope, Luke igniting Anakin's lightsaber and Ben's helmet. All starts there. Yes, it does. Matthew, Kenobi versus Vader in New Hope sets a tone for Star Wars going forward. Definitely. Let's see. Matthew. Where'd you go? Oh, Kenobi versus Vader in New Hope set the tone. We already said that. Blake, Luke throwing his lightsaber at the end of Jedi. Him doing that could be broken down so much and it's such a powerful moment. Yes, it is. Jason Kidd, I'm about to let everyone in on a secret. Yes, my number 4. Kane is one of my top 5 Jedi, and this is one of the coolest Jedi moments ever. I agree. You won't find an argument with me on that one. Josh, Kenobi's final pose before being struck down. He very much centers himself and gives himself to the Force. Mary's number 1, Ahsoka versus Vader in Rebels. The Padawan against the Master who is now turned evil. I won't leave you this time. Such an impactful episode. Amber, the classic, amazing, suspenseful Vader versus Luke. I get chills every time I watch it. Yes. Greg, Maul igniting the dual blade and Phantom Menace and Duel of the Fates. Yes, yes, yes. Daniel, Kenobi igniting his lightsaber on Mustafar in preparation to battle Vader. That was powerful stuff. And Liberty says Kylo and Rey in the snow. And you can see by Liberty's profile picture that she's a fan of that. So beautiful to light on the snow. This definitely left an impression on me. Yeah, it's pretty great stuff. Brian's number 1. Luke salutes R2 in episode 6 and shoots his lightsaber over to him in the Battle of the Sarlacc. He holds it and ignites the new green blade, my favorite ever Star Wars moment. Oh, wow, that's great. That would be a fun favorite Star Wars moments. Well, very good, everybody. Excellent work, as always. Top 5 most significant lightsaber moments. Again, and I think it's pretty cool. We pretty much held to, like, the impact of the story. And, of course, that trickles over into civil duels because they're important parts of this. But Star Wars is at its best when a lightsaber has something to do with it, at least to me. So I got a fun surprise for you. I've been thinking about this for a while. And then here's an honorable mention from Josh. Honorable mention Kylo and Finn facing off. That's a good one. All right, so I've been thinking about this for a while. Last weekend was Star Wars Rebels Remembered, right? And we posted a lot of great memories of that series, which to me is one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars storytelling, for sure. Amber says top 50 Star Wars moments, maybe. Mary loved the topic and everyone's moments. I love them too. But wait till you see next week's. Again, Rebels Remembered is very much on my mind. So we're going to do it, folks. Top 5 moments from Star Wars Rebels Spark of Rebellion Part 1. We, as a CWK community, are going to go through the entire Star Wars Rebels series. And I got to tell you, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I love Rebels. I'm well aware that we're not going to get through all of it before Kenobi and Celebration and other things will come up. Yes. So when things happen where we have to do kind of a pause, we'll do a pause. But we are going to watch Star Wars Rebels together as a CWK community. Every week we're going to do a top 5 like it's a brand new show. And I can't wait to do it. Looks like we've got some excitement here. Josh is super fun. Ross says, yes, love it. Matthew's still making his way through the series, so that'll be fun. Blake thinks it's awesome. Josh says it's a good idea. Mary loves Rebels and says it's awesome. Liberty says, I got a lot of honorable mentions. Luke turning on Anakin's lightsaber. One was right there for me. I also love Grievous and his many arms. Yeah, that was cool. Anthony says, Rebels forever. Mina says, I'll watch the series again. Yeah, we'll get to rewatch it again. And we'll just watch it 1 episode a week, right? Ross just finished his season 1 rewatch. It's going to be fresh in your mind. Amber's fired up and says yes. And Terry says, I'm almost ready to get to Rebels in my marathon watch. Sweet. Well, I'm going to watch them along with you. I'm going to watch 1 a week. And I'm going to make a top 5 like it's a brand new show. I'm going to try. This is the challenge. I think this is a good challenge. This is what I would challenge my students. Watch each episode like you have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm going to refrain from putting anything about, knowing what things are going to happen at the end of the series and just enjoy it because Rebels is the greatest. So yes, again, we get to Kenobi or whatever, we'll pause it and we'll put a little bookmark and keep track of where we are and get back to we're going to watch in all of Star Wars Rebels together. By episode or by season? By episode, man. Next week is only going to be the first episode. Again, I'll push back to that so you can see, but next week our top 5 will be top 5 moments from Star Wars Rebels Spark of Rebellion Part 1. So that's episode 1, season 1. A Mail Rune a day keeps the Empire away. Exactly. So, yep, just watch the first episode of season 1 of Star Wars Rebels and get your top 5 ready for next week. But now, it is time for some Star Wars trivia. I was tempted to make Halcyon trivia, but I think that was fair. I was tempted to do some Rebels trivia, but we haven't rewatched it yet. Mary hasn't watched Rebels since it was first released. Wow, it'll be a great refresher. It's almost if I hadn't seen it before. You know what? I watched it again when Mason was a couple years younger, and it was great, but now we're going to watch it again together. Speaking of Mason, he couldn't join us tonight. He just finished last week, and he finished the 6th Harry Potter book. He loved it, so now he's reading the 7th one, so he is busy doing that, and I love that. Got to encourage reading, so we'll save a spot for Mason, of course, next time. Craig is here. What's up, man? I seem to remember that someone wrote a blog post about those Rebels episodes. That's right, Mr. Craig Dickinson himself, the co-host of Reading Reading Between the Reels is here. And yes, you wrote a lot of great blogs for us reviewing Star Wars Rebels. I'm very appreciative of that, my friend. Anthony says the first 2 episodes are almost like their movie. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. All right. So let's do some Star Wars trivia, shall we? Daniel says, good for him. Keep reading. Yes, I agree. All right. So let me think about how I want to word this. Josh says, we did a bunch of blog posts on rebels from surplus Y-Wings to Tarkin going after shanty towns and war crimes on top of war crimes. Yeah, there's a wealth of information there. Matthew, having my boys watch the movies, there's a HP exhibit come to the Philly area that we're taking them to read the books post visit. Oh, well, that's fun. A Harry Potter thing. That would be great stuff. All right, I got an idea for something. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Get ready, folks, for some Star Wars trivia. As always, please don't look up the answers. Just do your best. And if you don't know it, you don't know it. That's okay. Let me find some really good ones. No, these are too easy. Okay. Spelling counts. Spelling counts. Spell the Mandalorian's real name. And you got to spell it correctly. Spell the Mandalorian's real name. Spelling, again, counts. Just like my students, I would expect you to be able to spell it correctly, so you got to use your resources. So, Craig's he spells it. Dinjarin. So, let's see. It is 2 words. I will say, let's see. Several of you have got it correct. A few of you do not. The overwhelming consensus is D-I-N for Din, and then space Jarin, D-J-A-R-I-N. That is the correct spelling. All right, question number 2. Very good, everybody. Let's do a little clap for our friends here. Where we got it? Here we go. Yes. All right, so number 2. Who has the highest midichlorian count in Star Wars? In all of Star Wars, not just the movies. Who has the highest midichlorian count? No worries, Minta. We knew. Craig says, this is the way. Look at you flexing your Mando knowledge, buddy. I love it. Who has the highest midichlorian count in all of Star Wars, not just the movies? Ross, Craig, Mary all say Anakin. So does Josh, so does Matthew, so does Terry, so does Anthony, so does Jason. What am I, with a bunch of Star Wars experts? The answer is yes, I am with a lot of Star Wars experts. Look at you all. Anakin. Craig says over 20,000. There's a guy that's taught Phantom Menace a few times. Anakin Skywalker is the correct answer. He is the chosen one, of course. He is the chosen one. All right. Boy, some of these questions are just silly. Let's see. Okay. What year was Star Wars titled Star Wars A New Hope? What is Grogu's count, Mary Winston? That's a good question. The question is, this new question is, what year did Star Wars retitled A New Hope? What year did that happen? Craig says in 1981. So does Anthony. Anyone else? Matthew says 79. Ross says 81. Terry says 89. Mary says 78. Greg says 80. Josh says 97. Amber says 1981. There's a lot of answers here. Daniel says 78. Jason says 79. Any other guesses? Minta says 81. Wow. A lot of great guesses here. A lot of great variation. Interesting. So, the answer is 1981. 1981. So Empire Strikes Back came out. Obviously, it was a big success. And then they went back and they re-released Star Wars for like the millionth time. And they changed it and it said Episode 4, A New Hope. I remember seeing that for the first time in theaters. I remember saying to my dad, hey, wait, it didn't say that before because I'd seen it so many times. And I knew that was a big deal. And it was. Okay. Let's see. Luis, hey, Luis, what's up, man? Not 1999, it's actually 1981. Let's see. I want to make some of these. I want to ask them in a certain way so that I don't give away the answer with the question. You know what I mean? Okay. How many handmaidens does Padme have? How many handmaidens did Padme have? Any ideas? Craig says that's the first version he saw. Wow. Mary says, I think they changed your party Empire coming out. That was a good question. Well, thank you. Craig says that she has 6 handmaidens. Terry says 7. Craig says 6. Ross says 8. Amber says 6. Daniel, Anthony. Jason says 5. Mita says 6. Mary says 5. How many handmaidens does Padme have? Any ideas? I'll let you think about it. Any ideas here? Matthew says 0, they all died. That's actually not true. They didn't all die, fortunately. So how many handmaidens? Let's name them. Maybe that's how we can figure out. So we've got Craig, everybody else, name the handmaidens for us. You've got, I'll give you, they all pretty much rhyme. It's almost like the hobbits in, or all, not the hobbits, but all the dwarfs in The Hobbit. Fili, Kili. So you've got Sabe, that's 1. Yes. And any others? Liberty thought it was 4. Sleepy, Sneezy, Sabe, and Corday. That's correct. Anybody else? And remember? Sabe, Corday. And think about the one that was the decoy at the beginning of episode 2 as well. There's a lot of cool stuff in the comics about some of these characters too. How many there are? So the answer, Rabe, I believe the answer is 6. But now when someone put 7, it made me start thinking about a little bit more. But yeah, I believe the answer is 6 handmaidens. I could be wrong. And there's one that is sort of on the fence in my mind. But if somebody wants to look it up to find out, go ahead. But the card I have here says 6. Yeah, they're in all of the E.K. Johnston books. Yeah, in fact, I got the newest one that's coming out the next month, which made me think of that question for sure. Okay, the next question is, what species is Yoda? What kind of alien species is Yoda? Any ideas? What is the name of Yoda's species? Oh, Amber's got them. We've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are 8. Huh. Interesting. Craig says it's never been revealed. Jason says unknown. Trick question, no one knows. Not even Lucas knows. Or specified. Terry says unless it's in a book somewhere, unknown. We still don't know. Interesting. Daniel's not sure either. Craig says same as Grogu and Yaddle. Well, that's true. That is true. Yeah, the answer is it was a trick question. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the type of species of Yoda, which is interesting, right? Who knows? Maybe someday we'll find out. But not today. Not today. It's never been revealed in a story, that's for sure. All right, last question. Last question. Who is the author attributed with writing the novelization of The Empire Strikes Back? I need the full name. The author attributed to writing the novelization of the Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. I need the full name. Matthew says Dan Z. That is correct. Or I would accept Dan's there. No, it's not me. I wish. Who's the author of the Empire Strikes Back novelization? No fair looking on your bookshelves. Greg says Alan Dean Foster. Okay. Any other guesses for who the author is of the Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back novelization? Oh, wow. I didn't think this would stump people, but maybe it will. I guess we'll find out. Mary's not sure. Ross says Lucas. Craig says not Alan Dean Foster. Okay. Interesting. Liberty says, can't believe that hasn't gotten filled in with what species Yoda is. We have so much info now. I know, right? It's just really kind of cool. I kind of like that there's still some mysteries out there in Star Wars, really. Craig, you should know. Minta's not sure. No one is guessing. No one is sure. Who is the author of the Empire Strikes Back novelization? I started looking over my shoulder to see if it's showing up here. Amber says Lawrence. Lawrence Kasdan is the author of the script of The Empire Strikes Back. But the answer is, and I'm going to type it here in the comments so you can see it. His name is, I don't know why it's in all caps. The answer is Donald F. Glut. That is the man who, and I just posted there in the comments, that is the person who's credited with writing the novelization of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, Donald F. Glut. And I don't think that was a pen name. I had to ask Pablo about that, but I don't think it was a pen name. I think that was really the actual guy who wrote it. Lawrence Noble. No, Lawrence K. says Luis. No, Lawrence Kasdan is who wrote the script, but not the novel. Is that her real name or ghost name? I'm not sure. Ross had no idea, so I actually stumped you all. Yeah, it's Donald F. Glut. It's definitely Donald F. Glut. I don't think it was a ghost name, but I need to check into that. I'm sure that's just a simple Google search away, but we'll find out. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z. All right, excuse me, just blowing my nose here. Don't mind me. Brian says, Dan Z, bringing on the house with that question. Yeah, I almost asked another one, but I'm glad I went with that one. I think it's fun to stump you Star Wars experts because that's not easy to do. That is not easy to do. All right. Any questions? Craig says, Craig is having the Monday morning quarterbacks. I did know that. Sure you did, buddy. No, just kidding. I'm sure you did. Liberty says, learn something new every day. Right. Isn't that the fun of this? I love it. So let's, you have any questions for me about Star Wars, about Celebration, about the Halcyon, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, anything? Speaking of, again, remember, in the summer of 2023, you can join me and MEI and Mouse Fan Travel on the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. I'm also going to have Corey Clubb and Tom Gross and Mason there on the ship with me too, in addition to Becky Menken. So it's going to be great, great fun. I hope you will join us. If you can't make Celebration this summer, no biggie. Save your money and join us on the Halcyon this summer of 2023. As of right now, when you look at the dates in the Halcyon on the Disney's website, it just has cruises through December. So that's how far down the road they are. So there's nothing showing for 2023 yet. Once we have dates, I will certainly post them for sure. All right. So Amber says, I love Star Wars, but would it be worth it for the rest of my family who are not fans? So Amber, I highly recommend show number 500 of Coffee with Kenobi. You hear from my wife, Deanna, who is not a big Star Wars fan, but she loves the fun it is for our family. And she addresses that in great detail, and she's a credible source. I would listen to 500 and see what you think. Did I pre-order a sleeping bag? No, I didn't have the option. I didn't see it on my Shop Disney account, but if it does, I will certainly do that. The thoughts on the Galactic Star Cruiser now, a few days post-trip. I still love it. I can't wait to go back. I've been thinking about it every single day. I'm definitely already budgeting for it because I can't wait to go back, Craig. It's wonderful. Halcyon Saber Show and Tell. We're going to get to that for sure. In fact, I'm going to do a little video of it this weekend. I can't wait to show it to you all. Before the rewatch begins, what is your favorite Star Wars Rebels moment currently? Well, it is Twin Suns, the Obi-Wan Kenobi Darth Maul situation, or Maul situation. That is my favorite one for sure. Daniel, is there a First Order troopers on the ship? Yes. It takes place between, just like on Batuu, between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So that is a time frame in the world of Star Wars that story is taking place on the Halcyon. My opinion of the best viewing of the order of the films. Release date or chronological. What's your personal favorite way? So for me, I introduced him to my son 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Just the way they came out in theaters. I think if you're an adult and you've never seen it before, I like 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. I'm sorry, that's not true. I like, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I sprinkle in Rogue One and Solo. I mean, yes, I know where they fall in the timeline, but I think they're okay to sort of stand alone on their own. I just think that's a cool way to do it, and I'm sure Craig would back me up on that. Amber's a Thrawn gal. Yeah, Thrawn's pretty great. He runs quite a bit through Star Wars Rebels for sure. All right, wow, great. Well, this was a really great show. a really great show. So thank you so much. I've almost lost my voice talking, but it's worth it because I get to talk to each and every one of you about Star Wars. Don't forget, next week, we're going to start rewatching Star Wars Rebels together as a CWK community. We're going to look at every episode individually in order, starting with Season 1, Episode 1, Spark of Rebellion, Part 1. So get your top 5 ready for that. Matthew says, my son Cal wants to know the name of the actor who played the first Darth Vader. That would be David Prowse. He was the man inside the costume. Great night, Josh. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for joining us. Mary, thanks. Have a great week. Ross, have a great week to you as well. Matthew, may the Force be with you. Terry backing me up on the David Prowse thing. Yeah, so fun being with y'all this evening. Have a great week. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for joining us. Minta, may the Force be with you. Thank you so much, everybody. Blake, have a good week. If you want to know more about my experience on the Halcyon, on this week's CWK Pour-Over, I really broke it down with Corey and Tom. Is behind the scenes of covering the event, from me getting the announcement from Disney that I would be going, and the planning and the packing and all the stuff that went into it. So CWK Pour-Over is CWK Pour-Over is where you can go to hear me talk behind the scenes of what it's like to cover the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser and working with Disney and Lucasfilm. A lot of fun. Hope you will certainly join us. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week as we start looking at and watching Star Wars Rebels together as a CWK community. It's going to be so much fun. Brian, have a great week, and Jason, too. Thanks so much, guys. Daniel, thank you. May the Force be with you. And remember, everybody, this is a podcast you're looking for. I will see you next time.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.